Hello, beloved. This is your sister Evangelist Marie, and this is our 39 day into our Bible reading in 365 days. May the Lord be blessed. I am so grateful to be in this journey with you. So, as per our schedule, we have to finish Matthew 26 and to read Exodus 34 and 35. So, let's start with uh, mm, the Old Testament. Let's start with the Old Testament as usual. So we're gonna go Exodus 35 and 34 and 35. So in verse 6, this is what I receive. And the law passed before him and proclaimed the law, merciful and and gracious, long suffering and abounding in goodness and truth. So this is the qualification. This is what God is. This is who God is. God is merciful. He is gracious. He is long suffering and abounding in goodness and truth. There is no evil in him and there is no destruction in him. So this is the way he qualifies himself. And then in verse 14, he says, "For you shall worship no other God, for the Lord whose name is jealous is a jealous God." God is not jealous the way that we women, mankind, are jealous. He is passionate in his love. He is passionate in what he is doing with us. So that's why he was able to give his begotten son to die for our sin, to pay the price of a sin that he did not committed, because we were unable to pay the price for the sin that we committed. So this is what God is. And in verse 20, he said, "But the firstborn of a donkey you shall redeem." So he said this again and again. It means also that the repetition, if you find 2, 3 times, it means that the thing is settled. The thing is settled. So we shall, and no one shall appear before the Lord. So you have a first son, you should redeem whatever first you should redeem. And that was the law then. And again, in verse 28, so he was there with the law 40 days and 40 nights, talking about Moses. And he neither ate bread or drank water. And he wrote on the tablet the word of the covenant, the 10 commandments. Beloved, remember that the first tablet that he broke when Aaron craft whatever he did, the bowl or whatever with gold, and he came back. So it was the finger of God that wrote those commandments. But then when all this happened, the Lord started changing. The Lord started saying, "This is your people," because the Lord asked Moses, "Allow me to destroy all these people. And even from the sand, I will make children of Israel from there." And Moses said, "No, you cannot do that." And from there on, he said, your people that you brought out of Egypt." So that's why this new commandment, this 10 commandments, this table of the word of the covenant was wrote by Moses. The Lord told him, but Moses was the one putting in writing. So it was not God anymore at that time. So chapter 35, then the first verse, "Then Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together and said to them, There are the word which the Lord has commanded to you. Work shall be done for 6 days." Again, he came back to the Sabbath, the 7th day that everybody need to be resting. So just imagine then that Jesus did not come to be our Sabbath. All of us will be dead by now, because he said, "Whoever walk shall be put to death that 7th day. If you try it, you shall die." But thanks be to Jesus that came and saved us and fulfilled all these commandments. So this is what I received for the 2 chapters. Let us go to Matthew chapter 26. Matthew, so that we can finish Matthew 26. So we need to start on 31st verse, the 31st verse. So going down to verse 40. Then he came to the disciple again. So when the Lord had finished what he was training all his disciples, and he was about to enter into why he came, the purpose of his coming to redeem mankind, it was not an easy task because it was real, because the pain will be real, the torture will be real. And remember that Jesus had become flesh. He was a human like you and I, with all the feeling, with all the sensation. So it was really, really not easy. And he called those that was closer to him and like, please stay here with me because the time is near. People are coming for me. Pray with me. But unfortunately, they were falling asleep at all time and every time. So then they came to him, and so it was really sad because the person that was with him already prepare everybody, even go to the extent say that I'm gonna kiss him and you're gonna arrest him. For what reason? When you show yourself or you make yourself ready for the devil to use you, he will use you. He will use you because the will come from you, not from God. Not from God. You decided to available to make yourself available for the devil to use you. The same way that you put yourself, you dispose yourself for God to use you. It's the same way that you dispose also yourself to be used by the devil. So then, Simon, Peter was always, sharp and, quick to say things. And he's like, even if everybody abandon you, I'm gonna be there with you. And he tell him, don't worry. Even before 3 times, you will even deny me. And when they arrest him, everybody left him, and Peter followed him as he said. But unfortunately, he denied Christ. But this is what I was a little bit bothered. Verse 65. Then the high priest tore his clothes and said, he has spoken blasphemy. What further need do we have for of witness? This is somebody called himself high priest. Remember that the high priest at that time was the lineage of Aaron. And you remember how Aaron was so, I don't know, but this is high priest that's supposed to know the word of God, supposed to know the prophecy, supposed to be able to detect that this one is the real deal. But he was unable. Why? Because again, Christ was not yet, not yet come and all that. But it doesn't mean that they were not real people, like trustworthy people. But this is the high priest that was not supposed to not know that this is Jesus Christ. This is the Christ that all my study have been talking about. All the detail were there. Everything was pointing towards Jesus Christ as the Christ. But he fell. Now he's making a show to tear up his clothes and start and all this because it's a ceremony. Show up. Even Christ, if not that this time he will come through the cloud that nobody can lay hand on him. Even now, those archbishop, those be bishop and all that, they will be the one to arrest. No, even us will be like arrest him, he's a false prophet or whatever. But thank God that he's not coming this way. And then Peter, so he denied, but this is what one thing. He said, now, Peter in verse 69, now Peter sat outside the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him saying, you also were with Jesus of Galilee. How did she know? How did she know that Peter was with Jesus Christ if she too was not the follower of Christ? Ask this question. How did she know? Maybe more closer. Because remember that when Jesus was moving, the crowd was with them, following them. So it will be difficult for a crowd to be able to identify people that were closer to Jesus if she was not closer to. Can you imagine? Those that betray us, those that like can create some trouble and all that, and those that they are closer. Because that's why she was able to identify the poor guy. So let God have mercy of us. Let God have mercy of us. And then you guys know the rest. So, beloved, this is what the Lord has said for this 39 day. May the Lord bless you, and may the Lord keep his face shine upon you and give you rest. So I challenge you as usual to seek God by yourself through his word. Why? Because God is his word. So as per our schedule, beloved, we have to read tomorrow, which is our 40 day of uh, Bible reading. 40 day, beloved. So 40 days, we will read Exodus 36 and 37, and we will read, um, basically, I have finished Matthew 26. So we're supposed to read Matthew 26, finish completely. But I'm going to come back to make more comment tomorrow. So Exodus 36 to 37. And then we will comment again on Matthew 26 tomorrow. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord bless you. Keep on pressing on. Don't give up. It's not easy. You can see the time that I'm posting the one of today. So keep doing it. Keep reading the Bible. Keep reading the Bible. Shalom and shalom.